Boom. Hello, gang. Colin here. Festa 67's workshop. Big hello. And the guru himself.
Really, what? I need Eccles cakes.
I know. We've had this conversation before we came live, and we both now want 4 Greg sausage rolls, a tray of Eccles cakes. We want all the sustenance. So yes, folks, that's what we've been yattering about. So yes, Anyway, welcome to Workbench Wednesday Live with eModels for our good friends, eModels.co.uk.
Your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. All of them.
Absolutely.
All of them.
We are doing, as you can see, we're carrying on doing a bit of the paint up of the Baneblades. So there you go, folks. If you'd like to grab one of these, the link is below in the description. You ought to see. A quick look at the chat. We got Graham McRobert in saying hello, mate. Nice one. Hello, Graham. How you doing?
Hello, Graham.
We got the guru back in saying, evening all. Prepare your looking at things eyes. Yes, look at all the things.
That's me. Hello.
Excuse me, David JM is in, saying hello.
Hey, David.
Excuse me. Hello, folks. As is our good friend, the Bob Ross of the community, Speedy Q8. Bonjour, madam et blokes.
There you go. That was a brilliant Welsh accent.
That was, wasn't it, eh? Yeah, that's the chat done. Don't forget, folks, the usual. What's on the bench? What's in the belly? What is your beverage of choice? It's not a thing for a ding because that's on Mondays. Next up is, how you doing, mate? And how's mum?
I am not too bad. She is a terror, so nothing changed really.
She's been a little terror, isn't she?
Yeah, she's been a right terror this last week. I don't know. Yeah, we're all right. We're doing okay. We're doing okay.
And
how are you anyway?
I'm fine and dandy, mate. I'm fine and dandy. We've both been sitting here today saying that it's Baneblade Day, and we've probably both had this thing on the bench all afternoon, and we've been sat there staring at them.
Because it doesn't matter what I'm working on right now. All I care about right now is 2 things: my Baneblade and my bluey cart.
And your bluey cart, yeah. Nothing else seems to matter at the moment, does it?
No.
Do you talk to your bluey car when you walk in the workshop? I know I do. Good morning.
I may or may not. Microsoft cannot discuss rumours or speculations.
Oh, that's a yes then. So yes. Now go on.
Just very quickly, don't forget, folks, if you're watching this embedded in Facebook or Twitter or somewhere else, come and join us in the live chat. We've got the chat in front of us, as you can see. And it's all about hanging out with you guys. Please keep it clean in the chat. It's a family-friendly show for eModels.co.uk.
Absolutely.
So please keep it clean in chat. And, of course, no politics, no religion, no rude stuff. And please do not discuss or mention other model retailers in the chat, because this is for eModels. So, you know.
Yeah, this is us. This is us being profession, doing work, our work.
I wouldn't go to push it too far, man.
Yeah, this is our work jobs, isn't it? This is, but yeah, folks. And we are continuing with these rather splendid Baneblades, isn't we?
Baneblade.
Are you beginning to fall in love with it now, mate?
I've built many Baneblades. I fall in love with all of them.
Yeah.
Even when I hate them at the start because the colours don't come together, I still love it, really.
Biddy says, filth. Dirty filth.
You dirty old spid.
Yeah, you dirty old man.
I can see I'm going to snap this ammo case cover off at some point.
So what am I going to be doing tonight? I am going to be fading down decals. I've got that one to do. I've started it just a little bit. And I've also been doing the numbers. They were like that, dark and shiny. And I've just been going over them and feathering them down. Same with the skull there with the diamond background. That's one that hasn't been done. That's one that has. Just fading them down and making them look worn and a bit flagged. So I've got that to do.
How are you doing that, buddy?
I am using a stick of the buffer kind. Now, don't mock... Don't mock this buffer stick. This is my Baneblade buffer stick. As you can see, all the rivet gouges in it. But,
I was about to say, you've got a buffing stick just like mine that's battered and beaten and falling apart because of rivets.
I have got.
I got loads of those
many,
in that. Yeah.
Many massively ragged buffing sticks.
Yeah.
And it's all
Never
my
throw
fault.
Go on.
No,
I was
carry
going
on.
to say, never throw sanding sponges away because they're always, even if they started off rough and now they're smooth as a baby's bum, they're still useful. So
Absolutely. For this purpose, because Bane blades are notoriously full of rivets.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do this, make sure you use a really gnarly old sponge. And all I'm doing is I'm just rubbing it over the decal, circular motions, just taking the shine off and bringing the paint underneath through.
Yeah, and that is a fine sanding sponge, so it's an old fine, so it's even finer, and that's what you want. You want a very gentle rubbing, because if you go with a hardcore sanding sponge, you'll just take the decal off. And
Absolutely, and it'll all end in tears. You'll try and tell your mum, she won't be interested, and then you'll end up getting really sad and miserable.
Yeah, Jeff Light's in chat. Welcome, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Which reminds me to get my Carl Sagan quotes open for later in case the other Jeff comes in.
Love to you and Maggie, mate. Hope you're both doing all right. So what are you up to on yours tonight, my man?
This evening, I shall be, if you remember so far, I have base coated it with a spray of Xandri dust. I have dry brushed Skaven Blight Dinge to make the grey stripes.
Oh, right, yeah.
I then gave it an all-over slapping. I slapped it in, on and through with Agrax Earthshade. Slap it beyond with Agrax Earthshade, which was sort of Agrax Earthshade that I had to fiddle because I ran out of Agrax Earthshade.
Yeah.
And then last week I went over the grey and the sand colour again, dry brushing just in the middle of panels to bring back the highlights but keep the recesses still a bit patchy and dark. Yeah. So you've got that kind of... And if you want to see the difference, I didn't do anything underneath. That's what it looks like before you do the dry brushing. That's just a wash of Agrax Earthshade.
Oh, right,
so look at that bit there. And then once you've done it, you get this nice, very subtle post-shaded effect where you still have the shade round the rivets and recesses, but it's got a sort of feathered look to it. It's not just a straight line of shade. What I shall do tonight is try and bring that further even forward, and I'll go for a lighter highlight colour for the panels now.
Nice one.
So I'm going to something lighter than Xandri dust and lighter than, just to bring an extra bit of pop, because I need to get some contrast, because when I put all the weathering on, that contrast will fade down. So I need to make it too contrasty now so I can bring it back later. That's my plan anyway.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I've not decided what colours to use yet, though.
And that's the thing now. We're at that stage, aren't we, where we can start doing what we've been looking forward to, which is the weathering stage.
Yeah. Well, almost there. I've got to fettle around for ages yet. I like to mess around before I get around to it. Where's me paints? Where's me...
Oh, I'm sure at some point there'll be something else I want to add to this. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. You tend to do that. You tend to do that when you've got past the point of being able to feasibly do that, though.
Yeah.
All right. Screaming Skull or Ushabti Bone?
Jeff Light says, we're both good, thanks, Cole. Hope and trust all is well with everyone. Yeah, it's all fine and dandy, mate. It's a bit humid tonight. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, folks. But we're a little bit humid again down here.
Yeah, we're a little bit warm. Not too sweaty, but it's a little bit of humidity. Okay, I've got one pot of Karak stone, which is just about the right colour, and it's separated out, so I need to see if I can recover it. Karak stone's about the right colour, because Karak stone's a good highlight colour for Xandri dust. So I'll see if I can stir it up. It's probably solid, actually. Ew.
Have you put no Lamia medium in it to break it down a tad?
No, I think it's actually gone solid. Let's get to probe and probe it. Do I get a bouncy castle? Oh yeah, that's basically a block of paint in there. Ain't going nowhere.
Oh dear.
That goes in the bin. It's very old. I've had it for a very, very long time. So.
Did I have hair when you bought that?
You were still in school when I bought that.
Really?
Yeah. Have I not got any other? That's an annoyance.
Yeah.
It's just the right colour as well.
You got nothing you can mix up, no?
Yeah, I can mix something into some Shabty Bone and darken it down a little bit. Well, I could actually just try going for a Shabty Bone and seeing.
Yeah, see if you can achieve
It's a
anything with
massive. It's a massive contrast. It is a big contrast.
Oh yeah,
because you've got that's Screaming Skull or a Shabty Bone compared to that. It's not a massive contrast, but you have to be careful. Yeah, it's kind of more contrast than I wanted, but we shall explore and find out. Shaking.
shaky. Jack Light says 16 degrees with 75% humidity. Yeah.
Some places have got 75 degrees and 16% humidity. My bathroom feels like that, 75 degrees. Right, so I shall try Shabty Bone.
Get yourself some Shabty Bone.
Oh, Shabty Bone, oh, Shabty Bone, oh, Shabty Bone. And a Shabty, in the real world, is a small figurine placed as a burial item in ancient Egypt.
Oh, right.
To represent, let's say you buried someone of importance, and a Shabty would represent one of their servants or slaves or that go with them into the afterlife.
Yeah.
Instead of actually just, killing their, like, say they've got a favourite horse man that looks after their horses, if it's whatever. Instead of just killing that guy and burying him with the pharaoh, which kind of sucks for the guy, they put an Shabty in there to represent him instead. So the deceased can go with all their favourite staff and people and viziers and things. I know many things.
Here you go, folks.
All of them useless.
All of you that were worried that you wasn't going to be able to get a sleep tonight, you're going to sleep well knowing all these facts, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm going to fill your brain folds with information. Right, let's give it a go. Let's just try. I'll do it on the underside of this bit of the turret because I'm just going to really see that. I've got to be very gentle and very careful. I want almost no paint on the brush at all. And I have to keep in mind it's going to look worse now than before it gets weathered up. Ooh, that might actually work, Shut up, dog. Barking dog.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
This may just work. It may be very slow, but it may just work.
Hey, mate. Rome wasn't built in a day.
So let me compare, show people. That's what the contrast is at the minute. And then if you turn over, I've only done a little tiny bit, but there's the contrast on that panel. It just makes it lighter. And it's more Israeli Defence Force colours now.
Yeah.
But I can build that up slowly. It doesn't matter if it's a bit patchy because, it's fine. Cool. Shabty Bone it is. Yep. Shabty Bone.
Patchy's always good, mate.
Yep. I might actually go. It might be worth me going for a bigger brush, actually. Maybe. I don't know yet, though. Now, it is introducing a little bit of texture, but that'll get disappeared when I do all the weathering. Be very gentle.
What have we got next? Skulls, some barrels, and all of that stuff. Try to give myself a little bit of room on my bench to work. That would be a good one, Cole, wouldn't it? One's on about their temperatures. They're 16 degrees with 75%, says Jeff Snap. David JM, 15 degrees C with 78% humidity. Oh, that's a sweaty one, isn't it?
It's a bit of a tinker, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, that is, mate.
Not the kind of day you want to have any kind of shower. What was that?
Me scraping off 90% of the decal. It's recovered.
Yep.
He says, just to try and get it back on.
That's where you put some battle damage.
Yeah.
Oh, look, an RPG pinged off the armour at that point. There you go, bam.
I'll try and do that without dropping everything, Carl. That'd be a good start. Let's get that off me pinky. There you go.
I have been greatly amused this week watching our resident fox that lives in our back garden now.
All right.
At least we think it's living in the back garden. We think, because basically, when lockdown started a couple of years ago, we had a little man that came and just kept the garden tidy because I'm lazy and Mum Wolf is too old. So, and he used to come and like cut the grass and keep all the borders nice and keep it all nice and peaceful looking.
Yeah.
And it was great because I didn't have to do it because I'm lazy. But he vanished. He just disappeared off the face of the earth. So,
all right. Yeah.
So I got a lawnmower and all the bits and bobs I need to do the garden myself. But I tried it a few times and realised I was thoroughly not interested in doing that. Thank you very much. Because, no. So for the last year and a half, it's just been left. And it's kind of wilded. And I kept meaning to get like a new little man to come and do the garden, but just never got around to it. So it's kind of wilded up. But it's got to the point now where we really need to get someone to come and sort it out.
Yeah, it's nice though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, part of me is happy to it wild up because it's a refuge in this like sterile landscape of manicured lawns and no foliage, insects and birds and animals that are struggling, man. So
yeah.
So, but then we realised that every time I went out in the garden, there was a big fluffy fox sat curled up in the tall grass snoozing.
Oh right,
it's like,
yeah. Yeah.
And at the start of the year, we could hear like little ones running around and making little noises.
Yeah.
And last year, there was one sat in the middle of the garden being harassed by all the magpies in the world and just sitting there going, I don't care. Magpies are like dive bombing. It's just sitting there going, what? I'm bigger than you, sure. So what we might do now is keep that back end of the garden wild.
Yeah.
And just have the bit at the front here where the patio is, get the grass cut and tidied up there so we can at least sit in the garden.
Yeah.
And then if I look after it, it's less work for me.
Yeah, we have our sitting area neat and tidy, and then down the back where all the fencing is and that, and the compost, that's just allowed to just be nice. And nice grass is a bit longer. There's a few brambles in there. There's a bit of detritus, and little critters come in and visit. Sounded just like Bob Ross then.
You did, you little creatures. Have you got a squirrel in your pocket?
Yeah. I'm pleased to see you.
But that's the thing. It's like with so many like the gardens. You look at the gardens; they're all just like lawn and shed, or they might have a tree at the back, and it's like there's nowhere for hedgehogs and wildlife and insects, and there's no plants for the bees and flowers for the bees. And it's like, so let's keep it.
Yeah, they got nowhere, no habitat, have they?
No. So we always had the very end of the garden was always left wild for years and years. That's all treed up, but. This is like, they've got the bit that we're near the patio, then you've got the second half where the pond is. It's not a very big garden, it just sounds big, and that's gone wild now, so we shall encourage our little furry friends. So we don't know if they live in the garden, but they seem to like sleeping in that one spot, so.
It's always nice to see nature though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is, as a kid, I always wished like that foxes would kind of, because I'd never seen an actual fox, but I love things like foxes and animals and things.
Yeah.
I always wished that I'd seen one in the garden, and then I did once, and then I was like, I wish they lived in our garden. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah,
like, now
cool,
they do, and it's like, wow. Well, now they apparently do, and it's like, yeah, childhood wish came true eventually. They used to live under our shed at the bottom of the garden for a while. Getting on there, buddy.
All right, mate. All right. Happy days. Just put a little bit of that. Sit that down. And that. Well, bit my usual narrating.
Nothing wrong with that, Spud.
I like a bit of narrating.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting a bit of a dry brushy texture on this paint here, which is telling me basically that I can't do another coat after this. This is my one coat of highlight.
All right, yeah.
Because depending on the way the paint's gone down in the first place and what it's like, because it's warm and dry at the minute. The paint's drying quite quickly as well, which doesn't help when you're dry brushing. But I've done models where I've got like 2 or 3 coats, and sometimes it depends on the paint. I've done like 2 or 3 coats of dry brushing colours, and then you just start to get that hint of orange peel, and that's when you stop.
Yes.
So with this is my second round of dry brushing, and I'm starting to get that dry brush, that peel texture. So it's like, okay, so I'm not going to do another highlight coat after this because it'll just start looking like a grapefruit.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, I mean, the weathering later on might hide it, but I don't want to take that risk. You wouldn't notice it from a couple of feet away, but if you look up close, you can see a kind of grainy texture to the paint.
Yeah, but that's when your weathering can creep in and save the day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But it's difficult to know whether it will or won't. So it's like you always take a bit of a... You have to take an executive decision. Do I stop now, but miss out on a more highlight, or do I carry on and it might work out, but it might not?
Normally I'd go with the minute I start thinking, do I need to stop now? That's when I stop. Because you're already beginning to think it. Otherwise, you'll kick yourself and go, wish I'd stopped when I first. Yeah. Less is sometimes more, mate.
Mm-hmm. Our art teacher used to say that to us, but I couldn't stand him, so.
Yeah. Probably the one thing I learned from art that I still go by, you know, that mantra, less is more.
Yep. I mean, I've always said when you're doing weathering and stuff, if you get to that point, like you say, and you think, should I? Then that's the first indication that you need to stop and wait for a bit and then come back to it the next day and have a look again and think see if you should. You'll
often hear me say, I'm just going to put it to one side now, let it talk to me for a few days, and then I'll decide whether or not I need to add more. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just... Because, like you say, you get so tunnel vision, don't you, in your thought process that you don't realise that you've actually gone over what you wanted to, and it's like...
Especially when you're doing chipping. If you're doing chipping and you're looking at one little section over and over, you come back the next day and be like, oh, dear God, what have I done?
Yeah. Especially when you know you've got to try and get the rest of the vehicle to match that. It's like...
Yeah, and you're like, oh, crap, what have I done
that far? Yeah.
Oh, no, what a mistake to make.
Yeah. Well, you've all done it.
Oh, yeah. I did it on my my Wasbomb Dackerjet.
Oh, right, yeah.
Painted it red, did all the shading stuff. Started doing pink paint chips because then I was going to do the rusty colour underneath and you only see little tiny bits of it, which makes perfect sense. But then when I'd done the pink paint chips, it was like, it looked like it had some kind of disease, and I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, it was proper baboon bum pink, was it?
Yeah, but it was like little tiny paint chips, but I did so many of them that it looked ridiculous. And even when I put the rusty chips in, I'm like... Yeah, what I did was I just fixed it by basically going over the whole thing with a red glaze, a bright red glaze.
Yeah.
It brought the chips closer to the base colour. Brought them all together, blended it away, and I was like, whew.
Yeah. It looks like it's got chicken pox otherwise, doesn't it?
Yeah. But that's the risk when you do a real highlight colour for a paint chip.
Yeah.
You've got to expect it to look a bit ridiculous at first. You've got to understand you've got to take it back. I tried to take it back. We don't do things by halves, do we? Nope.
It's all or nothing in our world, mate. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the hell Mama Wolf is watching on her iPad downstairs, but it's got some annoying music and I can hear little tinkling sounds coming. She watches like all these gormless videos on Facebook, top 10 whatever rubbish, and it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, she's on a mission, isn't she?
Yeah, they always have rubbish music on them.
Too quiet.
Dee.
I don't know.
Jeff Lightson says, good evening, Colin, Fox, and everyone in the chat. Welcome, Jeff.
Read that one.
We've read that one, haven't we?
Yeah, we're up to date on the chat. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask.
Yes, I'll try not to get my head in shot.
Yeah, unless YouTube's algorithm on chat has died, but it is a bit quiet. So ask us anything, folks.
Yeah.
Fox will try and answer all the questions.
I might just go quiet and leave you in the lurch, and you'd be like, oh, darn it. Gosh.
That's
or
all
words
right.
to that effect.
Would that be the dynamic moment, would it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now she's gone from watching video with weird twinkly music that's really annoying to watching videos where they're in TikTok portrait format and they put loads of stupid sound effects all over them.
Oh dear.
Like top 10 cats falling over and lots of silly sound effects. And it's, oh God.
Yeah.
I have to occasionally go into her Facebook when she goes to bed and just curate it a little bit and get rid of all the top 10 Karens type channels that she seems to have gravitated towards.
Yeah, it's like...
Because she just sits there and goes through like the video feed, so she doesn't obviously control what she gets given.
Yeah.
But when she watches something, they latch onto it, so I have to go in and curate it.
Yeah, she gets all the recommendations for all the Karen and Sharon stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? I love you to bits, Mum, but I don't want you watching mouth-breathing nonsense, because I need you to get your brain back in working order, please, and not make it worse.
Yeah, you go on Chud Alert.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, with YouTube? Some of the things that get recommended in your feed, you've never watched anything to do with that subject, and yet, bang, there it is. You're like, why?
Oh, this is Facebook she's on, but yeah, YouTube's just as bad.
Yeah.
For some reason, the other day, I go into like, when I've watched all my videos in my subscriptions feed, because I'll go in every day and say, right, what can I watch?
Yeah.
And there's like maybe a small number of channels that I subscribe to that I actually want to watch the content. So I'll just see what goes up. And so I'll have a look every day. But once I've done that, I'll quickly go on the home tab, which is just, whatever the algorithm thinks I might like. And sometimes you find some diamonds in there, and sometimes it's all garbage. For some reason, I get lots of videos about Blender, because obviously I do lots of three-dimensional graphic design. Somehow I make lots of 3D models, apparently.
Yeah.
And I get lots of videos about trains, which is really weird.
Oh, lovely.
But the one thing I went yesterday, and it's like 99% of the things were music playlists from other people's channels. I'm like, what? And you can't, there's nothing on them to say, don't show me this again. So I'm like, well, that's just rendered that whole page useless, because I don't care about other people's music choices. Thank you very much.
Jeff says, what colour green did you use for your fuel tanks? I used moat green, that one.
Ooh.
And I thickened it up because it was a bit watery, so I've put some thickener in there, which I use Mod Podge as a thickener.
Ooh, I never thought that.
And where it was over thinned, it's now a beautiful consistency.
I must admit, I never thought of that. I used to think to myself sometimes, how can you thicken a paint?
Easy, Mod Podge.
Yeah.
It's basically watered down PVA, that's all it is.
Yeah, because you want to thicken it, but you don't want to dilute it, do you? You want the store to be the same colour, bold colour. But
a Mod Podge, mate.
I suppose you could put a bit of like, what would you put in food to thicken it? What would you put in soup?
Glycerin. Is it glycerin?
I thought it was like powder stuff.
Yeah, it's like a food thickening stuff, isn't it?
Horse bits.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was like a powder you could put in like starch or powder.
Cornstarch.
Baking soda or something. Cornstarch, that's the one.
I was trying to think of the word, but I kept losing my train of thought.
Then your paint becomes a non-Newtonian fluid.
Yeah. But yeah, just bog standard Mod Podge. That's all I use.
Mod Podge.
And it thickens it up. Lovely.
Great for water effects too.
Actually, I don't mind that shade. I was going to go brighter, but actually I think I'll keep it with the Avalanche for a moment. See where it grows on me.
I was watching a video the other day. It was an interview with a guy that used to work at Games Workshop.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he used to be in charge of like designing stuff and paints and tools and products and stuff. And I learned many interesting facts in the interview, but I didn't realise. But he said basically there, the Retributor armour paint, when they had that paint designed, it was made by the same. He said there's only a handful of companies around the world that make paint.
Yeah.
He said, so no matter how you get your paint from, it's going to be from one of these 4 or 5 different companies ultimately.
There you go, Jeff. That stuff.
I love the 1960s. Look at that. And he said, the company that made the paint they also made paint for Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
And he said, you do realise, he said, this Retributorama paint we're making for you, it's more high class than Rolls-Royce paint.
Yeah.
It's got more gold in it, and it's more complex and classy, and technically intricate and expensive than Rolls-Royce paint. He said, yep. So he's saying that's why the Retributorama is one of the best gold paints, because it's just the best one out there, better than Rolls-Royce.
No worries, Jeff. Jeff's just ordered some Mod Podge. It's on the list. He says, happy days, mate. Glad to help, mate. Again, it's just one of them things I thought people know.
Yes.
You know.
A lot of people use Mod Podge on top of hardened resin to make like waves on ripples on water.
Yeah, it's what I have it for, water effects on dioramas. But
yes,
it is a good thickening agent for, like, I thinned my moot green to run it through the airbrush when I sprayed me orcs.
Yes.
And then I thought, I've got 3/4 of a pot here that is unbrushable. I thought, Mod Podge, just bung some Mod Podge in it. So it's now rekindled that pot again. So there you go. If you over thin your paint and you think you've lost it, oh no, I've ruined my paint pot, just get a little bit of Mod Podge. Or make yourself up a bit of PVA, water it right down, and then add that to your pot. Here end of Festa's lesson.
And why are you doing that? Go on about a load of Eccles cakes. Gosh darn it.
Oh yeah, damn it, I want them Eccles cakes.
I can't remember what we're talking about, but somehow basically we were talking and Colin mentioned Eccles cakes.
Yeah.
And at that point you heard his both our brains kind of went, oh.
Yeah, damn it.
Because at that exact moment, both our brains decided we really need Eccles cakes, and none of us have got Eccles cakes. It's like, you know what you've done now, don't you? He's like, yeah, I know, I've just done that. And I said, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting there now. Eccles cakes and Chorley cakes.
We are bad, aren't we? This is what we do. We come up with something, it goes out in a message, and then it's, damn you, I want them now. Yeah. Normally at about 3 a.m, it's like, oh, damn it, I really want a double whopper from Burger King even.
Burger King.
Yeah, them
yeah, we're basically terrible with our own splash damage.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ever put us in charge of man-portable explosives, because, yeah,
it wouldn't go well for us, would it?
No, we'd point the wrong end at face. Even if it said this end towards enemy, we'd still get it wrong.
Oh, we'd still conspire to ruin it, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, something's annoying. That's a big dog, that one. It's not a little dog. I don't mind big dogs because they don't bark as much.
Yeah, it's not a yappy, is it?
No, and for some reason all the big dogs are further away as well, which is fine. It's all the yappy ones that just never shut up. Because the smaller the dog gets, the more cocky it is when something comes in the garden like an animal.
Yeah, the armpit dogs.
Yeah, they just never shut up. They're like little fighting things. It's like, oh, whereas a big dog just goes woof and then just gets bored and walks away. And like an animal comes in the garden. Maybe he used to have one of his family had a chihuahua. And it was the most aggressive thing I'd ever seen.
Oh, they're feisty little things. Then,
horrible. It was just like there's no redeeming qualities about that. Your cousin's dog. It's just, ugh.
Fraser Green is in, saying good evening. Good evening, Fraser. How the hell are you, my friend?
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, hope you're keeping well. For those that don't know, we are continuing we are the build-up of our wonderful Baneblades.
The continuing saga for Tank Who's Gone to the Dogs.
Yeah.
A little bit of a Muppet Show reference there.
It's plausible.
You're plausible.
Good reference. I like being plausible. I'm made of plausible. It's all good.
Don't forget, folks, ask us lots of questions in chat, please, because we're so busy painting, we get distracted. We don't forget you're there, but we enter that like zone that painters and artists do, where the rest of the world seems to stop existing.
Yeah,
and you just get carried away with it.
We do tend to forget, and it's the bane of our lives, because we desperately, every time we go live, we're like, yeah, let's not forget chat tonight. What do we do?
Yeah, I'd be rubbish at doing like live tutorials. Can you imagine me at a convention doing? I'd be terrible because I'd be like, right, what we need to do now is, and I'd just be off, and that'd be it.
Well, we do. You sit there with your tongue poking out the corner of your mouth, don't you? Like, oh, I'm in the zone.
I'm thinking. So.
But it is that stage, isn't it, on the paint jobs now, where we're going through all the little ancillary components, thinking, right, I've got to paint that, I've got to paint this, and then you lose your train of thought, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my favourite bit is always painting the gold stuff.
Yeah.
Painting the Aquilas and all the little gold bits and bobs, because that's such a nice paint to use. It's just the best.
It's lipstick and mascara time, isn't it? Because you know you're getting to that final sort of stage, in it, when you're doing all that sort of detail stuff. Oh,
yeah. And Retributor Armor is one of those colours that goes on so nicely. If you're painting like a raised thing, it just conforms to the edges of the thing, but it just behaves itself beautifully. Really is a delicious colour to paint with.
It's a lovely colour.
It's a lovely fella. I won't hear a bad word about it. Now shut up. What's interesting here is I forgot to do the Xandri Dust dry brush on this underpiece here. So I've just done me a Shabty Bone dry brush and realised it comes out a completely different colour. It's a darker highlight than it's unsurprisingly, obviously, if you think about it logically.
Yeah, but then again, underneath it's going to be slightly darker because it hasn't been sun bleached, does it?
Yeah. And it's
see what I did. See what I did.
Yeah. You're thinking with portals now, mate.
You're impressed, didn't you? That's a get out of jail free card there that you didn't think you'd get issued with.
I know.
Fenrisian Grey.
You are thinking with portals.
There.
Nice colour, Fenrisian Grey.
I like it. Bit of rust grey will be next.
All the Space Wolves colour, Fenrisian Grey, rust and wonderful blue greys.
Oh, yeah. They just stare at you, don't they? They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
They are nice greys.
You're a nice grey.
I'm made of grey.
I'm made of grey. Sorry.
John Major was grey because he liked peas. I like peas.
I like peas.
Peas are fun.
Oh no, I'm stuck halfway.
I can't swim.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to get worse, isn't it?
I forgot what the steering wheel does.
We're so going to hell.
Got water in my shoe.
I had Fred
I've got water in my flip-flop.
There's a person who would have Crocs.
Oh, God. No, there's a person who would wear them Kanye things. Oh, God, they're horrible. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
Kanye croc things.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Stupid.
Oh, yeah. 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 Look at the post-it, Cole. Look at the post-it. Do this.
Can I get them in pea green?
Kaggle. Yeah.
Ooh, Kaggle that folds up into itself.
Little Pack-a-Mac. Yeah.
Pack-a-Mac, that's the one. Pack-a-Mac. Yeah. God, you just reminded me of that, and with me remembering the old flasks used to be called roughnecks.
Yeah.
My childhood's coming back slowly.
It's all coming back to you now, isn't it?
Yeah, I need to clean my
Jeff Light says, I'm glad I'm not the only one that sticks his tongue out the corner of their mouth. I'm doing it now, Jeff.
Yeah. It is the order of things. I've got to clean my rim, sorry.
Yeah, you do what you got to do, mate. You polish your rim if that's what you want to do. That's sounding wrong.
I've got some dribble around the rim area.
Oh, dear. Family friendly, dear. Family friendly.
I know. That's why I'm the rim area of my pot of paint.
I knew exactly what you meant, mate.
Do.
A bit of that. A bit round there. Because the rest of that is going to be gun colour. Bobbins and he says, hello, Bobbins, how are you,
hello,
mate?
Bobulons.
You keeping well, fella?
Bobulonicus.
Always nice to see Bob.
So what made you go for what made you go for green and yellow for your fuel drums? What was your thinking process? What?
Just like the colour. I've seen green and yellow drums before, and I can't remember where. And it stuck with me. I can't remember where I saw them. Robin says, I like the bright green fuel tank. I'm wondering whether it's from the oil or petrol industry, whether they have their fuel in drums that color. I don't know, but I've seen these drums about.
Makes me think of the kind of fuel drums they have around the sides of like racetracks.
Yeah, that's probably where I've seen them, mate.
Car tracks.
But, yeah, whether or not it was the high octane fuel drums, but I've seen them and I can't remember where, and I just thought they would look pretty damn sexy on the Baneblade, so that's what I went with, mate. And I think they've come up different. You know, it's different than
Quite like it.
Stick out like blind cobbler's fun, really, didn't they? But, yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but this is the Imperium, so of course they don't adhere to logic.
Absolutely.
The Imperium has square planes. I wouldn't worry about a barrel being
right. Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about a barrel being a bit sticky outy, obviously, in the colour scheme. I think it was good. They do. I know what you mean. They reminded me of something, but I can't think where I'm reminded of.
I've seen them before. Like say, probably at a race event or somewhere. But yeah, that's what I went with.
Cool.
It's different.
You're different.
I'm made of different.
I was about to say that. Gosh darn it.
God, did I just get dibs and squeaks or whatever it's called on you?
I don't know. My brain suddenly stopped working when I tried to think about the word.
It's very rare if I did. I'm just going to savour this moment.
Savour the flavour. La, 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 la. Savouring the flavouring. Now, it's quite good. You remember last week when I was doing my Zandri dust dry brushing and I was getting... all the paint was coming on from the pot onto my fingers.
Yes.
And I was getting little tiny bits of, like, fingerprint paint on the tank everywhere in little places, like little chips of it.
Yeah.
When I was doing this just now, I'm thinking, you know what? That's just paint chips.
Yeah.
So there was one on the back here, and I just dry brushed over it, and now it blends in a little bit, and I'll put a chip in the middle of that, and there you go. I've just done this basically a little bit of paint chipping.
That was you forward thinking your weathering, mate. What that was.
Without realising it.
Yeah. Proud of you, mate. See, there is method to our madness, folks, honest. I don't know what it is, but apparently there's method to it.
I wouldn't like to commit to that. I'll go with it, but I wouldn't like to commit to it on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, I was trying to pick us up there for the viewers so that we looked suave, windswept and interesting, but...
the viewers know all about us.
Yeah, they know that's wrong, don't they? It's an untruth.
I think we're aiming the hosepipe into the oncoming headwind there, I think.
Yeah, but it was worth a try, wasn't it?
It's a noble effort. I'm not going to knock you for it. It was a noble effort.
In vain, but it was noble.
Mm-hmm. Do-do-do-do-do. What do you remember? If at first you don't succeed,
Yeah, cry. Yeah.
With me, it's more like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Bobbins says there is also madness to your methods. Definitely, Bobbins. Definitely, you're not wrong there, mate.
Yeah. Pork pie hats, two-tone shoes, definitely madness.
Absolutely.
You see what I did there?
You did. I am impressed with that.
So you should be.
Proud of you, soldier.
I haven't got a soldier. Oh, wait.
They grow up so quick.
I was watching, on a complete handbrake turn, I was watching a video today of a guy who's a polyglot.
Oh, right.
A language tutor and, like, expert, and he can do, like, he basically can do any English accent.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he's doing this video about explaining all the different accents, and he's boiling it down to some basics, but he's like, doing like, southeast areas, Anglian accents, Cockney, and the stuff outside Cockney areas. It's that new kind of weird multicultural kind of London accent, all these different accents.
Suburban London.
Yeah, he said it's a weird mixture of different cultures and Cockney and everything else mixed together. But he then got up north and he did Lancashire.
Yeah.
And he did Manchester.
Yeah.
And I listened to all the accents. I'm like, none of those sound like me.
No.
Now, if anything, I should have perhaps a soft Manchester accent, I would have thought, because I live in the suburbs of Manchester. And it's like, I don't even know what accent I've got.
No.
I don't know. I don't sound like the place I live. It's weird. I don't know what my accent is. I don't sound like, yeah, I know what I mean. I'm not like Salford, you know what I mean? I'm not like that.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you haven't got that.
I'm not Bolton, Bury, Rochdale. I don't even know. I don't know what my accent is, but it's not. I've got the wrong accent.
It's indeterminable.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I've got the accent I've got. How that's happened.
You've got call centre voice. That's what you've got.
Thank you for calling 9X Cable Comms.
Yeah. Honestly, because I go by H when she was in telesales, where because of her accent at the time, it was Queen's English drummed into her type of thing. So you end up with you end up with a nondescript accent or call centre accent.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always had this accent though, because like I said, my mum is from this area, born and bred. My dad's from Glasgow. So, and I don't have any of that in my accent.
No.
Weird. My brother's the same. It wasn't until I watched it, I suddenly realised I don't have an accent that relates to where I live at all. I've got a wrong accent. I don't know who I am anymore. Help.
Oh, Whippлекins.
So, yeah, I was like, that's weird. Very weird. Right, I shall put that brush down to rest for a bit. I shall get a big brush. Big brush. It is your time.
Robin says, none of us have accents. It's just other people who do. Yes.
I mean, I suppose. I obviously do have an accent, and I don't know where. If I would say to someone, "Where do I come from in the UK?" I'd be interested to see where they thought I came from based on my accent alone.
Yeah, you certainly don't sound Mancunian.
No, because I mean, like you and Chris, I can tell you at least from London, some part of London, and Chris may be more towards the suburbs.
Yeah.
Ted, I can tell, is northern, but I wouldn't necessarily know if it was like the Lakes or Bolton, Bradbury, that kind of north. You know, but I don't know. That's very weird.
Yeah.
Strange realisation.
Yeah, but some people just don't pick up a thick accent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, although you're from the area, you know, there are occasions where people just don't pick up the accent.
Yeah, it's weird though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you think you would. You think everybody will pick up. And the funny thing is that I do adapt my accent anyway. I mean, my brother's lived in the States for like, I don't know, 35 or 40 years now. And every time he came back in the summer, I noticed that I started picking up little ways of speaking that he would do. In little ways, like going up at the end of a question of a sentence.
Yeah.
I kind of picked that up from him, I think. I do it all the time, but I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah, accents are just one of them, aren't they? You know, it's... I'd say some people have a very thick accent, other people just don't. You know, it's strange.
Yes.
All witchcraft and tomfoolery, mate. That's what it is. Paul D. Tommaso is in saying good afternoon, everyone. Afternoon, Paul. Love to you and Don, mate.
Hello, Paul.
Hope you're keeping all right, fella. Should we have a bit of Scape and Bright minge?
It was interesting, though, watching him going through the accents and explaining, using all the proper terminology and all the breaking down how things are different.
Yeah.
You know, like explaining how, say, the London accent, lump them all into one, has certain pronunciations of T's and V's, and it's all very it's formulaic, and it's like, and you think, yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. How northern accents do this. But at one point he said, Northern, you'd say cup. Southern, you'd say cup. And I'm like, no, I say cup, which is in the middle. So where does that put me? I don't say either of those things.
Yeah.
But I like your accent.
I hate it.
I love your accent. I love it. It's got a certain, I don't know, gravitas to it, a certain, like,
I've never
joviality.
liked it.
And to me, it's a very friendly accent. A very, very relaxed and friendly accent. I like it a lot. It's got no airs and graces. It's not all poncy. It's like,
That is what it is, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I think, and it's going to be absolutely honest, and you can trust every word of it. Because there's no falseness. There's no airs and graces.
I used to try and disguise it when I first started YouTubing, but it really didn't work.
No.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I find your accent very, very trustworthy, I think.
Yeah, it just bothers me because people tend to judge you by your accent.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for that reason alone, I used to always feel stigmatised by it.
It's one of those things that everybody says they try not to, but even those people, everybody does it. You just instinctively built in. It's the way your brain works.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've always found like your accent and sort of Bolton and Berry accents and things like that. Just they're kind of like almost like sort of working man accents rather than poncy nonsense. I always find them much more trustworthy because you just what you get on the tin, what you get. It says what it's on the tin.
WYSIWYG, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's
It's like you put me in front of Brian Sewell, I just wouldn't trust a word he said.
Yeah.
This is Brian Sewell. Let's look at this piece of artwork.
Oh, bless you. Bobbins says, I find your voiceovers very relaxing with your voice accent. Yeah, I go into Bob Ross mode when I'm doing my voiceovers. It's very... Do you remember Whispering Bob on the whistle test? I tend to go for very relaxed, soothing, I like going, how you do it. It's almost like you're sat next to me, Bobbins, in the same room,
Yeah.
Because
I think you're...
Go on.
Go on.
Being that I'm deaf, probably about 75% deaf, I do talk really loudly and I get conscious of that. And I always say to people, audio and video all right, or am I talking too loud? Because I can sometimes drown other people out on the live stream because I talk really loud. And I often say that to Fox when he says, oh, my audio was quiet. And I say, yeah, but I might have been talking really loud, mate. So when I'm doing voiceovers, because I have all the settings in front of me, I look at the meters as I'm talking so that I know I'm not going over that meter. But when we're live, we haven't got that.
No.
So you have to try to second guess it, mate.
I think the advantage that you have with your accent is your actual voice, because you have a deep voice anyway.
Yeah.
So that, first of all, when you speak quietly, it is quite relaxing. It's quite mesmerising because it's like a deep... I mean, my voice is mid-range and nasal. I'm not really that keen on it, but I can't really do soft, quiet, deep voice. It doesn't work for me. But if you had like a nasally, high-pitched voice, your accent would be really annoying.
Yeah. I mean,
because you've got
if she can't sleep, she'll say, couldn't do me a favour. What's that, love? Couldn't talk to me for a bit, could you? I go, why is that? Because I need to get asleep. I'm like, thanks a bloody lot.
Talk to me about Warhammer.
Yeah. She said, yeah, but your voice is so soothing that it makes me feel safe and I can just nod on.
But that's the thing. I say, if you had a nasally, whiny voice, then your accent would be intolerable. But because you've got a deep, soft voice when you're talking like softly, it's really nice. Your voiceovers are great.
I am like it with Spiddy. I watch Spiddy's videos because I find he's got a very eloquent narration with his videos, and I find it so relaxing, ASMR or whatever you want to call it. And that's perfect for me, and I like that. Jeff's got it as well, Candygram for Mongo. He's got one of those voices, hasn't he, that you're like, oh, mate. He's brilliant, wouldn't he?
He's got an American radio. He's got an Iranian talk radio host voice.
Welcome to KFXC FM. Yeah.
Right, I must step away for 1 minute. I
Yeah,
shall be
you
back
carry on.
very shortly.
You carry on, mate. I'm just doing a bit of belchering of the lead kind with me exhausts and that. So, yeah. Spid says, Carl has a great soothing, here's what I'm doing, we're slapping on some oil paint kind of voice. Yeah. One of them, when I film, I just try to imagine that next to me in a room is someone who's never, ever built a model kit. And, yeah. So that's what I tend to go for. Spid says, because I sent you to say, I find your voice so relaxing on your videos, Spid. It's unreal, mate. So, yeah, it's like, yeah. Without it sounding too wrong, a bit of late night Spiddy is recommended. Yeah, that still sounded wrong, didn't it? Yeah. So I'll just slap some lead belcher on this bad boy. Because this is going to be given a rust coat anyway, but if I put a base down, I can then work my way from it. He says, optimistically, it could go wrong, or it could not go wrong, we'll see. I make the mistake so that you don't have to. That's my motto. I'm honoured, Cole, thanks. Mate, honestly, I love watching your content. I have recommended you many a time on my stream because of it's the way you film. It's, you know, I've not taken watches apart or anything like that, and I don't fully understand the workings of them. But when I sit and watch one of your videos where you're repairing watches or dismantling them, I actually feel that I know what I'm on about. Did you ever remember a program years ago called Out of Town with a character called Jack Hargreaves? And he was this wily fella in his shed that would talk you through what he was doing, but you really felt that you knew the subject well because of the way he was wording it. That's how I feel when I watch your stuff, Spid. It's brilliant. People should go over to your channel and like and subscribe because it is compulsive.
I need to watch more of his watch videos.
Yeah.
I will have to step away again in a minute.
Yeah. Obviously, Spid, feel free to give me a shout out in your next video, mate. I could do with the subs.
Yeah. Nothing for free in this life, darling.
Absolutely. But no, all joking aside and pimpage dealt with, I have always said I find your content very watchable, mate, so keep it coming.
Nobody likes their own voice at the end of the day.
Oh, no. It was you that kept badgering me into watching me videos when I edit. You must start watching them. Why? Why? Because you leave stuff in that really you need to edit out. And I'm like, but I don't want to watch my video. But dude, you need to.
Yeah.
You did a 1 hour, 15-minute video and you glued a wheel on. You could have edited it down. Oh, right then.
No. Yeah.
You know, it was right. Damn it.
Short and sweet. I was actually quite surprised that I don't like that. I never liked the sound of my own voice.
Yeah.
But when I started doing videos, my brain was kind of like, well, I've got no choice. I have to listen to it because I've got to edit the video. So,
yeah.
And I kind of got after. It didn't take me long to be like, you know what? I don't sound that bad.
No.
I still wish I sounded different, but I don't sound as bad as I thought I did.
Yeah, it's a tough one because none of us really like being ourselves on the YouTube or anything because it is out of your comfort zone, isn't it? Speedy says, I'll happily give you much shout outs. Your builds have always impressed me, especially because I'm crap at weathering. Oh, bless you, thank you. Yeah, the old channel does seem to stagnate at the moment. It's not growing very much, although the content's going on. But I know why. It's because I don't promote the videos when I do them. I've only just recently started. Oh, I've put this video up, folks, because I just assumed people would see that I've put a video up and watch it. Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. He just admitted it. The thing I've been badgering him about for years.
Yeah. And I am bad at it, but it's difficult when you put a lot of work into your content that your channel doesn't grow like you want it to. But
yeah.
It is frustrating because it's sat where it is for quite a while now.
I think you've always promoted your stuff. You've just promoted it to people who are already following you rather than promoting it to people who don't even know you exist yet. That's what I've been trying to badger into it.
I've had a few recently, you know, people said I never even knew this channel was in it. You know, I'm so happy to have subbed because the variety of what you build, you know, and I'm like, oh, it's only model kits, you know, but...
Yeah. I was always like, you're all very well put up links for the people that already follow you, but what about the people who find you by accident on Twitter when you put a hashtag up, you know?
He said to me one day, when did you last post a picture of your work in your group? And I knew he had been through my damn group. I knew it because I'd never posted in there. And when I said I haven't, the telling off I got, I had to look at the post-it note there.
He could hear the look on my face.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yes.
All subs are gratefully received. If it helps grow the channel, I'm happy.
We're British. It's not something we do normally.
No, it's not.
Self-aggrandizing content.
We're not good at it, but...
No. We get there in the end. That was a paintbrush.
Oh, it's, you know, it's not been easy for him. He's had his work cut out.
Have I ever? Is there ever men on me?
He once said, I like a challenge.
Yeah, I hadn't met you at that point.
Exactly.
Now I wish I could recant my...
Yeah.
Not that much of a challenge. No,
but
you're always good at promoting
it. Tony Fairclough once said to me, I thought I was bad.
Yeah, you're always pimped your stuff, just not to anybody who never heard of you before.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no point pimping to... I said to him, there's no point pimping to the audience you've already got. Pimp to the people you don't know about yet.
Yeah. My response to that was, but how am I supposed to pimp to them if they don't know me?
Then we had a conversation about hashtags.
Yeah, there was a facepalm. A facepalm may have been had.
Yeah.
And along with the conversation, I really, really, really do sympathise with H.
Oh, yeah. Right, I suspect I will be called away very briefly in a moment.
That's all right. You do what you got to do, mate.
Yes.
We try it. I mean, that's the one thing we've always tried to do with the channels, isn't it? It's just do stuff differently. Just do new stuff. Just try new things. You know, it's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yep. Right, I shall be back in one moment.
Yeah, you go off and do what you got to do, mate. But yeah. And I love seeing different types of content on YouTube. It's not just model making, you know, I watch all kinds of things. I also watch farriers, you know, the guys shoeing horses and that. And there's the Tring shoe repair shop, Dan the cobbler. And I sit and watch his stuff for hours, mate. And he's, you know, doing all the shoes up and all of that lot. And I love all of that. Old school skills, isn't it? You know. Old D. Tomazza says, I've posted a new pic of organiser in the groups. Oh, nice one, mate. I'll have a look. I'll have a looky-loo, mate, once I'm off air, Paul. But, yeah. And that's the thing with the YouTube, isn't it? You know, there's all different types of creators out there. And the variety of what people do is breathtaking. So yeah, I do watch quite a lot of YouTube content. Just surprising. Spiddy says, I don't remember that, but I know the name Jack Hargreaves. Yeah, Jack Hargreaves was a presenter on a TV show called Howl with Fred Dinage. But yeah, it was a programme. It might have only been on in the south of England. I don't know, but it used to be on a weekday before Nationwide. And it was a white-haired fella with a big beard sitting in his shed doing all kinds of country things, you know, old style fencing and hedgerows and all of that lot. Just doing all these little pastime skills that sadly are getting lost now because as generations pass on, they're not passing on the skills that they learnt because, dare I say it, no one seems to want to learn old school crafts now. And it's all dying off. It's a shame. It really is, like trades. You know, old school trades, you know, in a generation's time are going to be lost. No one will know. And I think that's, yeah, proper shame. That's like what you do, Spid, with the watchmaking and building and repairing. You know, it's a dying art, isn't it? James is in, says evening, Colin Fox and all in chat. Big Festa and Foxx hugs. Good evening, James. Hope you're keeping well, buddy. Lovely to see you in. Love to you, Alicia and Shania. Hope you're all doing well. I'm just sitting here painting guns on my Baneblade because I can.
Guns.
All the guns.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, get your guns out. Yeah.
JC Bricks and Builds is in. I assume you've read that.
Yeah, chat's up to date. Robin says he's got to go soon, need an early night. He's got a dentist appointment in the morning. Ooh. Braver man than me, mate.
Ooh, dentistings.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll be over before you know it.
Yeah. That's my biggest fear, the dentist.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a big wuss, mate.
Considering what I know about you, that's quite charming.
Yeah. Honestly, mate. You think you're bad with daddy long legs, mate. Honestly, I was sat in the dentist one day and I heard the sound of the drill and I was gone. Just walking out down the street, gone. It's like I can't handle it.
Does H have to go with you now to make sure you have
she has to go with me to make sure that I can't disappear. Yeah.
to make sure you at least go in and speak to the chap.
Yeah, she proper gives me a shoe-in, she does, mate. But it is on the cards, you know. She has said to me, she said, yeah, she's, you're not getting away with it.
No.
She said so, yeah.
There's only so far you can take it before H just puts her foot down, and you know there's no
yeah.
God mode.
There's no getting out of it. There's no getting out of it, mate. You know, when she caught me that time with the pliers, what the bloody hell are you doing? And I had a full grip on the tooth, and he just went, and a big chunk popped out. She went, show me and let me have a look. And when she saw it, she was like, really? But what?
My brain can't comprehend doing that. I get nervous. You know when you get the little hangnail that sticks up at the side of your thumbnail?
Yeah.
Because if your hands are wet for a long time when you wash your hands a lot, you sometimes get nervous.
Yeah.
And I get a little pair of decal scissors and just snip it off because it gets really annoying. But even I'm sweating cobbles. I'm like, because it's so painful. So like, yanking.
Do you know my favourite implement? That.
Go on.
Do you know why?
Because it gets between the teeth.
Because I file my teeth with it. If I chip the top of the tooth and break a chunk off, I just sit there and I'll just. Yeah.
How often do you tend to chip your teeth?
Quite often, because I use them to open stuff and strip wires and things like that. So, yeah.
Oh, so it's stupidity.
It's my own ineptness, mate.
I was going to say, my entire life, I've probably chipped a tooth like maybe twice.
I used to have a habit of opening beer bottles with my teeth when I used to drink.
If only they made some kind of tool for just that purpose.
Yes, but honestly, it's the best wire stripper you could ever have, mate. Takes the insulation off of any wire. And then, of course, she's like, will you use your bloody wire strippers?
It's like, again, if only they made a tool for just that purpose, perhaps.
Yeah. I go, but my teeth are better at it. Yeah. And then I will come over there and I will beat you.
I'm sorry, but I'm on H's side. Whenever you say H is telling you off, I'm always on her side. You know that. Yeah.
She's always telling me off, but I need it. I need to be told off because I am a nightmare. I freely admit it. You know that. You've seen me on full chat. I am a absolute nightmare.
You are indeed.
Yeah.
High maintenance.
I am. She's had the day off today, so she's had to contend with me all day. And
Ugh.
before I came in tonight, she said, when you going next door? I said, shortly. She said, thank Christ for that. I said, why? She said, I'm knackered. She said, you have absolutely drained me down. I was like, what? What have I done now?
It's like you like looking after. It's like I looked after. I can imagine thinking I did looking after 5-year-old.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
You're like the third child, but you've just.
Oh, yeah.
You've been five for 30 years.
Oh, yeah. She's just an absolute nightmare. She said, anything to look for mischief. You're doing all the things you know you shouldn't be doing. She said, you're bored, aren't you? And I said, yeah, I want to build my Baneblade. Go and build your Baneblade. I said, I can't. Why? Because Fox will tell me off for fettling.
This is true.
And she's like, oh, for God's sake, what time's your show? I said, 9 o'clock. She said, you ain't staying in here until 9 o'clock. So I won't be able to take it. I was like, oh, really? Am I that bad? 2 voices went, yeah.
Get a support myself. Like, look, here's some adult magazines. Just go away.
Oh, mate, honestly, it's like, yeah, I don't stand a chance, do I? But
No.
your own fault.
Yeah, absolutely your own fault. Everything you do it to yourself.
Yeah, I know.
It's like every time you end up in a pickle and you sit there and you go, how did this happen? I just sit there going, you know how this happened.
Oh, yeah. That night when I said to him, I was sat here bragging. And it's my own fault. Proper bragging I was. I'm in the good books. I got brownie points. La, 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 la. Proper milking it. Yeah, 20 minutes later, I was in the doghouse.
Yeah. What you'd forgotten to wake her up? Oh, no, that's right. You woke her up to get up for work and she was actually had a day off.
Yeah, she had a day off, yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, ah.
Yeah, I kept phoning and phoning. Will you get your Harris out of bed? I cleaned that up.
Yes, you did. Certainly did.
And I proper told her off, gave her a lecture, and she went, before you actually incriminate yourself any further, she said, I'm on holiday. My jaw hit the floor and my temperature plummeted.
Oh, yeah, the cold snap.
Yeah.
Met Office were called.
She said, if I come down them stairs, you will die.
You will be in hospital.
Yeah.
You will be going to hospital.
Yeah.
Again.
She said, start developing a taste for hospital jelly.
Oh, hospital jelly. But
Yeah.
the best thing is, right, with Colin, first of all, he's physically incapable of not dropping himself in it, like with that, because it's just who Colin is. He just does that. Anything he can do to get himself in trouble, he'll do it.
Absolutely. I've got A-level guilt, mate.
Yeah. But at the same time, when he does something like that, and he knows full well that we'll all mock him for doing it, he gets A-level Catholic honesty.
Mm.
And he comes back and says, I'm in trouble because I've just done X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, you probably shouldn't have told me that because now I'm just going to mock you. He's like, oh, I just told you, didn't I? Yeah, pretty much.
That's the
So
thing,
whenever
though.
he does something like
She comes in and she goes, right, you've been up to mischief. What have you done? And I just sit there and reel off everything I've done.
Mm.
Because I can't not say, because she'll know.
Yeah. But that works for us a lot as well, you see, because it
It's
could
your
do
ammo,
the dumbest
doesn't
thing in the world. And it'd still just tell us.
Oh, yeah.
You won't believe what I did yesterday. Rest my chin on my hand, get comfortable, looking like that still shot of Willy Wonka. Do tell me more.
He sits there, here, Cole, what would be a good idea? What's that? Why didn't you go next door and film yourself touching all the buttons that you shouldn't do? Yeah, no worries. Not if I went, filmed it, sent him it, and he went, thanks for the ammunition. I'm like, come in.
You were like, crap, why did I... Oh,
Yeah. I was like,
so
really?
trusting.
Yeah, I am. So trusting. And she creased up when I told her. She went, sucker.
That's why she likes me, because I can get ammunition.
And then she gave me a dead arm. I said, what was that for? She went, that
Touching my buttons.
was for touching the buttons.
Because again, you had to be honest and tell her that you'd done that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I know in your brain, your brain will have actually skipped past the point of realising you were telling her that you touched the buttons because you were too busy telling her that you'd fallen for my ploy. And then she went, you touched my buttons. And you're like, oh, wait, I just said that about out loud, didn't I?
Yeah, getting back to what you said just now, what was that about touching my buttons? Damn it, I
You're like,
incriminated
something-
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just you get all eager to do one bit and forget about the other bits that come
I
with
get
it.
so proud that I've made it through a weekend without blowing the house up. And then I literally go and touch something and it goes bang and I'm like, damn it, she's going to be home in 10 minutes. Why? Yeah.
Hello, French polishers. It's just possible you could save my life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can remember my boys, they was only 5 and 7, I think, at the time. And she went away with her mum to, is it Port Talbot, where The Prisoner was filmed?
Yep.
And
Port Merion.
Port Merion, that was
Merion,
it. I don't know what Port Talbot is. I don't know why I felt.
Isn't that in the Falklands? I think it's... Oh, hang on, I'm being pinged again.
That's Port Stanley in the Falklands.
Back in a minute.
Yeah, no worries, mate. But yeah, so she was away with her mum at that place, and my phone goes. She said, "Oh, we're on our way back, mate." I said, "Yeah, no worries." Now, bearing in mind, I had done a lot of chores because I wanted to surprise her. So I'd done the hoovering, washing, that sort of thing, and yeah, even had to go at cooking myself some stuff and didn't blow the house up. And I thought, do you know something? I could just do with one of them burgers. So I stuck this burger in the microwave. But I didn't quite look at the timer properly. And 8.5 minutes later, smoke started billowing out of the kitchen. My solution to that wasn't to go and find the source of said smoke and extinguish it. No, I peeked through the door. And yeah, 8.5 minute burger. It came out, it was like moon rock, this thing. When I opened the door of the microwave, the kitchen filled up with smoke. It was billowing out through the windows. What happens? Through the door comes the missus. With me, with a little tea towel going flutter, flutter, flutter. She's like, what have you done?
Legend.
I said, I forgot. Forgot what? I said, I put the burger in for 8.5 minutes. 8.5 minutes. And they still mock me about it now. It's over 20 years ago.
The thing is, right, it's worth mocking because it does say 90 seconds on the actual packaging.
I know, and I put it for 8.5 minutes. Thinking that I was putting it in for 85 seconds, but I think it was 8 minutes 50, to be honest. But yeah.
You and numbers, eh?
Oh, mate, honestly, the thorough checking I do every time I use the microwave, mate, you'll be impressed. It's like when I got all cocky, wasn't it, on Facebook, stuck a picture up of me touching the microwave. Phone goes, oi. I went, what? Oi, slaphead. I said, what? Leave my microwave alone. And I'm looking around. She said, you're now stood there looking around the kitchen, ain't you?
Looking for cameras?
Yeah, I said, you got a nanny cam? She went, no. She said, I see it on your Facebook. You want to show off to your mates and get all cocky? Fine. You've touched my buttons. Hide, fat boy. Okay.
It's the way how you can only focus on one fact at once, so you sometimes forget the most glaring obvious fact, like she can see your Facebook.
She does laugh.
Oh, yeah.
But she also despairs.
It's about the right balance, I would suspect.
So I sent him a picture of all the food that she had labelled up. Do you remember that on the shelf in the fridge?
Oh, yeah. For the weekend or whenever it was.
Yeah, all the little instructions on them. Little post-it notes everywhere.
Every single thing of like tub of food had like a post-it note with the instructions how to put it in the oven, the microwave. Some of them had more than one if they're particularly complicated. Yeah. I'm like, I'm moving there. All your food's made for you. Just press some buttons.
Oh yeah, she's brilliant. But it is so. She said, honestly, she said it's like leaving an unattended child, and I went, yeah.
But it's like leaving an unattended child, but less predictable.
Yeah. Cal came round last time, but I went, oh hello, surprise visit. Yeah, he went. And then I looked at him, I went, you was asked to come round to check on the kitchen, weren't you? And he went, yeah.
Yeah. Not check on you, check on the kitchen.
Yeah. And he took photographs, sent them, and went, yeah, still intact. I went, really? You've not come round to see your dear old dad? No, he said, Mum's worried that you might have put your ass down. So, nice to be trusted. And he went, burger? I was like, point made.
Point made, and moving on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
that was Mama Wolf pinging me to ask me to do the thing that I'd just done for her like 5 minutes before, and she went, "Oh, I did it again." And I said, "Yep."
Oh, bless her.
because she forgot because she was distracted.
Poor mum.
She said, I've done. I said, I know, I've just sorted it out for her. She went, oh, oops.
Yeah, she went, oh, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. She keeps doing that every now and then. It's like she instantly forgets just because she was like watching something on telly or something.
Oh, bless her heart.
Makes me laugh. Every time she sits down at the telly, because her day is spent like sitting downstairs watching telly and reading the iPad. She's perfectly happy with that. But she watches basically just ITV3.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because she can just turn it on and then she doesn't have to deal with the remote control. She can just leave it on and listen to it while she's reading.
Yeah.
And she's always like, oh, God, it's Poirot again. Oh, she's like, oh, bloody Poirot. And all this stuff. But then if you try and distract her, like if I go downstairs and try and like grab a hug off her or she's sat there while she's watching Poirot that she doesn't like anymore, she'll give you the look.
Yeah. Do you mind? I'm trying to watch Hercule. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch this one. It's the last one ever. Yeah, it was on yesterday and the day before as well.
Yeah. Yeah, my mum's diagnosis murder. It's like, Mum, how many times are you going to watch this programme? But I like it. And I go, you were sitting there bemoaning the bloke not long ago.
Well, for Mum, it's basically Poirot, Heartbeat, and Midsummer Murders, and then of course they show all the old Coronation Streets and eModels as well. So for her, it's just stuff she listens to while she's got headphones on. Yeah. While she's doing other things, reading her iPad. So for me, it's great because she can just sit down and veg out, and it's like because after she came out of hospital, I tried to get her back into being able to change channels and stuff, but yeah, she hasn't got the eyesight for it anymore. She can't see the buttons on the remote.
Yeah, it just keeps her occupied, doesn't it? A lot of the time, they just want it on as background noise, don't they? Mm-hmm.
And I bemoaned all the TV manufacturers like Samsung. Thank you very much for doing black control with black buttons. That's great.
Yeah, I can remember I had that unfortunate job many, many years ago of trying to explain to my mum how to program a VCR.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I gave up. Video Plus was a godsend when it came out, but even then it was,
Well, luckily now we don't have to worry. She just watches whatever's in front of her, basically.
Yeah.
Which is fine. This is a very messy pot. I've got a very mucky rim on my pot.
Yeah. We was going to get me mum a smartphone, but we thought better of it.
Yeah.
What do I want one of them for? She says, I only want to ring people. I don't need none of this bang-dangle technology, she goes. It's like, yeah. So it is hereditary, mate.
That's all right. It's funny, since Mum came out of hospital, she's not even asked where her mobile phone is.
Oh, iPhone. Really? Yeah.
Not even asked. I've had it all the time because I make sure I've got it with me so I can pick up any message from like the GP or anything like that. Yeah, she's never even asked.
Oh, yeah, because H is my proxy with all my health stuff for obvious reasons. And it's always funny because they'll still get her to come and ask me whether it's okay to talk. Yeah. Like, of course it is. She's my wife. She's my proxy. You talk to her because, one, I'm not going to hear you properly. Two, I would have forgotten within 10 minutes what you've said anyway.
Three, you can't be trusted.
I said, and if you do say that I've got to go somewhere or attend, I said, I ain't going to go because I'm stubborn. I said, now if you tell her, she'll make me go.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah. And now, see, the phone will go, is the wife there? Yes.
Where are you sending me?
Yeah, where have I got to go? It's funny. Yeah.
Basically, you just can't be trusted with anything. No. So they're just like, you know what? Hello, Mr. Wilkins. I'm just looking at your file and I'm going to go talk to your wife.
Well, she had, because she's got a high blood pressure, but she's also got scoliosis of the spine. And she had her check done, and her GP is my GP. Bad move. And Pam said to H, oh, before you go, what's up? Why hasn't he been for his last 3 appointments? Pardon, she says. Yeah, I've been messaging him. She said, that's the mistake. Send them to my number for going forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pam said, how much trouble is he in? She said, how much trouble shall we say? And they gang up on me.
Good.
But I need that.
You just can't be trusted, can you? You really can't be trusted.
No. Well, it's like anything. We're that generation. You don't want to make a fuss. That's what a lot of it is. And it's always that there's people out there worse off than me mentality. So, of course, it's vitally important that you should go for these tests. But, yeah.
Well, you say that, but you're kind of my generation, and I'm
terrible.
I would say that about my mum. Is she's the generation of not wanting to be a trouble to the point of not going to hospital with a broken foot for like 6 weeks, and then it was too late. Just soldiering on. Whereas I'm your generation. If I stub my toe, I want air rescue.
Really?
Yeah. If I like wake up and I've got a stiff neck, I need an ambulance.
No, I tolerate it. It's like, I'll give it a few days to wear off, and then that's it. It's like, yeah.
Because I'm the kind of thing that if I have the slightest of headaches, it's clearly a brain tumour. I'm about to die. I need all the medical attention you can get. And everybody else, mum's like, it's a headache. Shut up. I
have to see a podiatrist, as you know, because of me diabetes, and they keep an eye on me feet. And my appointment came up. Off we go to have the regular 12-week check. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'll just get me whatever they're called, we would call them pliers, but they call them something else.
Yeah, the things.
Yeah. I said, what's that? A bit of hard skin? He went, no. He said, you got a nail in your foot.
Oh, God.
I said, yeah. I said, on the end of every toe. He went, no. He said, you got a nail in your foot. He said, you haven't been wearing your slippers again, have you? I might have forgotten a couple of warm days. And he pulled this very, very long nail out of my foot.
6-inch iron nail.
Yeah. And he just looked at H and went, yeah. I said, I wondered what that clicking noise was when I was walking.
You never thought to actually look.
How am I going to be able to look at the sole of my foot?
You say to H, what's in the sole of my foot? Why am I clicking?
She religiously now has to check my feet every day. And several times she's like, you've got a self-tapping screw in your foot. How the hell have you done that? How long's that been there? And I go, I didn't even know it was there. Oh, for crying out loud, she says, really?
I'm more impressed that she feels it necessary to specify it's a self-tapping screw, not just...
Yeah, she knows.
You've got an M8 screw in there, what's that doing?
Yeah, and she does. She's like, now, I don't know whether it's best to pull it out or get a screwdriver and unscrew it, and I'm like, just leave it there, love. Podiatrist will do it. Don't be so... Oh, really, she says.
Yeah, because then he'll give you the telling off, and then I'll have to give you the telling off.
Yeah, so every time I come in of a night now, when she comes down in the morning, I'm normally feet up in the armchair having me dinner, and she'll say, before I go, and then she just stands there, foot check. Now, I can resist, or I can just let her do her thing. Which of the two do you think I try to do?
Yeah, you try. Try is the important word. Try is the very important word there.
I try to resist, and it never works for me, does it?
No.
But every day she's like, why do you try to resist? You know you're going to lose.
You're like, I'm trying to make a point, and she's like, yeah, you're trying to make a point for 25 years. It's never going to happen.
I'm trying to exert my authority, and she goes, look at him thinking he's in charge. Bobbin says his chat died. It is very quiet in the chat, Bobbins.
Yeah.
It is very quiet. So I don't know whether it's a YouTube issue. The last comment I've got is Phil Bolton saying, I've only got the one chipped tooth.
That's what I've got.
When he was 10, a cousin and I were having a rock throwing fight. My dad brought out the belt when he found out. Yeah.
Yeah, the chipped tooth from the belt, not from the thrown rock.
Yes. My brother's still got a scar across the top of his face where my sister, we was playing boxing, and my sister hit him with a perfect right hook.
Oof.
And he spun round and smacked the front of his head on my mum's coffee table. Now, coffee tables in the 1970s were made of a thing called kryptonite. Superman's strongest metal, wasn't it?
Actual wood, as we like to call it in the old days.
And he's got this huge scar that goes right across the front of his head. And of course, when people meet him for the first time, they go, "A nasty." He goes, "Don't ask." He goes,
My sister did it.
"Yeah."
You can't really say that, can you?
Oh no, he does. He goes, "Yeah, my sister hit me with a right hook, sorry." And yeah, and then that's it. The mockage begins because.
Oh yeah. I remember when we were kids, my friend's dad was putting a patio in or something for somebody, and we were messing about, and I swung a spade, a shovel, and gouged his eyebrow. I've only got, I think I've only got one scar, and that's on my right leg.
Yeah.
What's the bit like to the side of the shin? Is the calf? I suppose the calf, isn't it?
Calf, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, where I was coming home from school one day, and we had to go through this car park, and there was like a ramp, like a zigzaggy path that came down this very steep embankment. And I thought, being in the middle of winter and icy and snow, I'll just go, instead of going down the path in a zigzag, I'll just go straight down the embankment because it's faster. Yeah. And of course, instantly slid on my backside and slid down all the way. Felt nothing, and then I was sat on the bus, and this old lady was like, "You appear to be bleeding," and I was like, "Blood pouring out my leg."
Jeff Flight says, "A steel nail, Cole. Silly question. Didn't you feel it?" No, mate. I've got MS, so it's nerve damage, mate. So, yeah. So you have to be very,
vigilant, which is one thing you never are.
I take a lot of beta blockers and things to suppress certain nerve impulses because you register acute pain all the time. So, so it leaves you very vulnerable to injuries that you don't necessarily feel that you've done. So,
Yeah, the upside is you get rid of the severe pain. The downside is you lose a lot of the lower level pain.
Absolutely, mate. Things like when Helen cooks me food, she has to let it cool for quite a while because I'll just sit and eat it straight out the oven and you end up burning all your mouth because you just got no sensation of it. So,
or if you're sat in a funny position that for most of us would be like, "Oh, that's really uncomfortable," you just wouldn't feel it, and then you do something.
Yeah, my feet and legs are permanently like cotton wool. There's no sensation. I could get a scalpel and run it down my leg and I wouldn't feel a thing, mate.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Don't get me wrong. To a lot of people, that's probably a blessing, but believe you me, it isn't.
No, everything comes with a price. And I mean, for most normal people, that will be a challenge. But for you, who just cannot be trusted in any way with even looking after themselves, it's even worse.
Yeah.
You really are just...
Yeah,
I understand being high maintenance for other people, but being high maintenance to yourself is insane.
Oh, yeah. I'm an absolute nightmare, mate.
Yeah.
I'll freely admit it. I'm a pain in the backside to live with because,
Yeah.
As Helen says, when people say how many children you got, 3. Oh, how old's your eldest? 55.
Yeah, 55. Hey, in 3 days.
56.
Yeah.
What do you
want for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday?
My health and the love of my wife. Children.
Well, I can't get you either. I can't get you the love of your wife and children, or your health.
Yeah, no, it's... Honestly, mate, all I want for my birthday is carry on breathing fresh air, mate. I'm easily pleased.
Let me rephrase that. Which particular orc unit do you want for your birthday?
I don't need one. I wouldn't do that to you. You know me. I'm not going to ask for stuff because it's not
you
right,
giving
is
it to me. It's me getting you a present for your birthday. This spoon.
I'm all right, mate.
You're me mate. You're in big dumb brother. I have to get you something. I always wanted a big brother, and I've got 2 big brothers, but we never really got on with each other. We didn't get on, but they have their world, and I have mine, and we just,
Yeah, me and my brother don't get on.
So we got honestly fine. It's just they were in a different world to me. I was the kid just playing with my toys when they were like in their teens. So I always wanted a big brother.
Jeff says, "Sorry, mate, I didn't connect MS with it. Sincere apology." You never have to apologise, Jeff. I am totally comfortable with it, mate. It's not a problem, buddy. Honestly, mate, you haven't offended me, fella. Not, it's one of those, I just assumed you knew, mate. But, yeah. you end up, I've got the side effect is basically it's like a fibromyalgia is the best way of describing it, where if you look at your nervous system, it's like a 3-core plug flex. It's covered in the insulation. So if you imagine your central nervous system is the copper wires, if you stripped off the outer insulation, the white lead on a plug flex, and then stripped off your live, neutral and earth, wound it all together and plugged it in the plug socket, what's going to happen to the appliance?
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's what happens to your body. So your MS attacks the myelin. It's like an autoimmune thing, and it damages your central nervous system. So they pump you full of beta blockers and things to try to suppress the pain responses. And the downside of that is there's a classic example at work. I reached up for something. This was before I was on the sticks, and I ruptured my left calf muscle. Didn't even feel it. Carried on about me business, and then I don't know what it was, but I might have been when I went to the laboratory, but I just noticed the shape of me calf was a bit pronounced. Carried on and finished my job, and when I got home and come out the shower, Helen was like, "What bloody have you done to your leg? It's black and blue, mate." So of course, by then the following day, it was proper, blood staining under the skin, bruising. She said, "But I want to go and get that looked at." So we went down to see Nosey. She went, "I want that scan." She said, "I've got a feeling." She said, "You've got a rupture in the muscle." She said, "Have you done anything you shouldn't have?" And I went, "Well, I reached up for something at work on my tippy toes." I said, "But I never felt nothing." And yeah, when I had the scan done, I had actually ruptured my calf muscle. So
you didn't feel it.
It kind of changes an absolute thing.
It changes the pain threshold, doesn't it? But in a more significant way than your average Nurofen or aspirin.
It is
dangerous. The
threshold. I was soaring. It was when I was doing a build with Dave. It might have been on one of the early Buddy Bill shows me and him did. And I'm cutting away, and Dave says, "Oh," he said, you're bleeding there, mate. What you done?" And I had been soaring through my finger.
Ugh.
And yeah, I said, "I better go and get H to look at that." So I did, and yeah, it was proper, chatting with Dave whilst I'm streaming, and I'd cut right down into my finger.
And I suppose, you could say we need to be more observant, but it's not easy. It's not possible to do that because, you're doing stuff at the same time. It's easy to get distracted with what you're doing. You
don't always get it right. And this is what Helen worries about when I do DIY, especially if I've got things like electric drills out and things. The one she fears the most is my big circular saw.
Oh, God, yeah.
And she says, one, don't ever use it when one of us isn't around. But now her motto is Lex sits there and he supervises.
Yeah, because that's not you can cut your skin. That's if it goes wrong, you've cut something off.
Yeah.
There's no half measures with that.
He won't use it purely simply because he's bloody shit. He's scared of it. Because, he's not a power tools person. And my motto is a good man knows their limitations. But he'll religiously watch me like Hulk. "Are you done?" He goes, "Yeah, right, let's pack it away." And I respect that.
Is it a handheld circular saw or a mounted one?
Yeah, it's a handheld one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, in that case, yeah.
And I used to put a clamp on the dead man switch because I used to lose my grip because, And he told me off for doing that. He said, "No." I said, "Yeah, but I keep twitching and letting it go." He said, "Better it cuts out and you put a clamp round it." He said, "Put it down." He said, "Stand there and it's cutting through your leg, mate." That's a good point, son. Or
you twitch and twitch the blade into your arm because and it carries on because you've not got the dead man switch.
Yeah. So, it's a valid point. But, Jeff, sorry for the ramble. Not a problem, Jeff. Don't worry, mate.
It is good that your entire family have know you well enough to understand that you really can't be trusted with anything, and therefore they have to just...
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not done. They don't ever do anything treat him like a child in a patronising way or anything like that.
No, yeah, but they just know you're a danger to yourself.
But
in
they
every
know
possible
full
way.
well that it is dangerous, and I'm not going to know. And yeah, and yeah, it's my own good at the end of the day. I still resist. I still rebel against it and get the ump, and because we're blokes, it's our pride, isn't it? Yeah. Lack of knowledge on my part. No, don't worry, Jeff. Don't worry, mate. I'd be mortified if I thought you was upset. Please don't be, mate.
I think the difference between me and you is that if a nurse says to me, if I've gone into hospital with something and she comes back and says, right, you now have to sit on your butt for 6 weeks and do absolutely nothing, I'd be like, woohoo! Excellent. I will do everything you say because I want to heal. Whereas you'll be like, yeah, you think. You're trying to think of ways to get out of it.
I've got a classic one. Oh, this is going. Oh God, I know I'm going to be in for mockage for this one.
Remember what I said, folks, about how we can't help but tell you stories, even though it doesn't do him any favours.
When we first moved down here, we had a little bed sit, and I injured my leg, so I was in one of these fixator halo rings round my leg. You know, the things that go in your skin to the bone.
Yeah.
They sent me home with that. Crutches. And we're bearing in mind we was in an upstairs flat. She's like, right, I'm going back to work. Yeah, no worries. Anything you need? No, I'm all right, love. Don't go anywhere. Of course I won't. She said, if you ain't on that settee when I get home. Yeah. I said, no problem. Cliff knocks. He said, you all right, mate? How you doing? How's the leg? I said, it's still attached, blah, blah, blah. So we went out on the landing, had a smoke. He said, how are you getting on with that Mini? I said, it's all right. I said, I just leant in, grabbed the case, come on, we'll show it. So out over the garage I've gone. Within about 10 minutes, I've got the welder out and I'm welding the Mini up. Who comes driving up to the garages? I came home for lunch and you weren't there. What the effing hell are you doing with a welder in your hand? I said, it's Cliff's. Yeah, no, it didn't work, mate. So that was it. The garage keys got taken away, and oh, mate, yeah. The rollicking I got, Fox, was unbelievable.
Yeah. I think the most charming thing is that it happens so often, and yet you never seem to learn from it. You just keep doing the same things.
And I was only young then. I mean, Lex wasn't even born. That's how long ago it was. Yeah. But it's like she said, you've got that rod's poking out of your bones, and you're in an oily garage with a welder welding and grinding your car. What part of you'll get an infection don't you get? I said, didn't think of that, be honest. I think then, that moment, I think it entered her head. This guy's completely and utterly mad. Yeah.
You're not normal.
Yeah.
She began to realise this is kind of a long-term investment.
Yeah, I think she realised that it was going to be a pretty long process for her. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a long-term situation. Yeah, this is an all-in. There's no half measures with this one.
As I say to her, you wouldn't change a thing, would you? She goes, please don't let me think about this. Yeah.
She's like, don't ever ask me that again, because you won't like what happens.
Bobbin says, on an unrelated subject, those Bane blades need big flags and pennants. There may be a pre-prepared bit of raggy.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I think a little raggy pennant, little tiny triangle on the outside of raggy would look rather splendid. So. Ooh. Because raggy has to make an appearance, and eModels won't know it's in there, see?
No, I mean, I've done a doodle inside I've drawn a little foxy character inside mine, as I always do. So you've got to get your bit of raggy in there somewhere.
Yeah, so raggy will be there, Bobbins, mate. It's prepared inside.
I was about to say, after everything we just said about you getting in trouble with H, I think you do penance quite enough. Thank you very much.
I see what you
see what I did there. You see what I did there. You see what I'm proud of that one.
Do you know something? For you, that was really good.
I know. I was on form there. Taking my pills, obviously. Whoops. Ping.
He's here all week. Here
all week, folks. Try to fish. There you go. Nice and northern.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, mate. But yeah, definitely needs penance, mate.
I think I should have all this dry brushing done by the end of the show. Ooh, I'm on my grey now.
Oh, you're good. I'm
on my dark grey.
I'm so proud. He's got me wanting to cut my bit of raggy pendant now. You know, whilst it's on me mind bobbins, I should do it.
Just don't do it with the circular saw. You've just explained that.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Possibly could go wrong.
Do you know the thing I like about our audience?
What's that, mate?
Is they're the kind of audience that when you tell them all the things you're not supposed to do, you can guarantee at some point they're going to egg you to do it.
Of course they will.
Yeah. I like the fact they've got your back by knowing once you tell them what you're not allowed to do, they'll be like, oh, right, we need to get him to do this one week and make him... Oh, it was the audience. They said, love. That.
Oh, yeah, they know I'm completely and utterly useless and I'll do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can really mock me then because, yeah.
So, yeah, and it's purely to get the mocking in. And it's nice to know our audience is comfortable enough with us to take advantage of you like that.
Hold up a minute, just of me?
Well, I don't tend to do that kind of dumb stuff like you do. And
yeah,
I don't get... And there's no one to tell me off when I do it. So.
Yeah, you kind of got a valid point there. There's no way of me getting out of that, is there?
No.
Damn it. Left myself wide open again.
Yeah.
And I learn, Wilkinson, are you?
Nope. No, go and press all them buttons and film it while you're there.
See what you did there.
Okay, oh wait, no, you'd be like, hang on, have we done that one already? Damn. I've gone for a nice bit of dawn stone as a highlight colour for the dark grey. And it's only a real quick application on this one, because this will just go so dark when it gets weathered that it's...
How's that, Bobbins? Your bit of raggy pendant. Look at that.
Oh.
How's that, mate?
Is that antenna already glued on?
Yeah.
You've got to navigate around that now when you're painting and weathering.
It's all right, it's not a problem. Believe you
2
me,
weeks from now when
I've got the insane blade to build.
That's true. I was going to say 2 weeks from now when you've pinged it off 7 times, you'd be like...
Yeah, wish I hadn't put that on now. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen. Oh, my neighbour's clearly been cooking dinner because all I can smell is wonderful curry garlic smells and it's making me really hungry.
But you know me, I'm a person that likes to please.
This is true. This is true. Now, I'd be really pleased if you went and filmed yourself pressing some buttons.
No, I'm not going to do that. Oh.
Curses. Excuse you.
Yeah, you know me, mate. If anyone's going to do, yeah, I do all the silly stuff that you don't.
Yeah. It's almost like your brain's got a list of things it knows you can do to get in trouble with H, and that's the only list of things it's got.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't got a list of things you can do to get in the good books, because it hasn't got that list at all.
No, it doesn't know that they even exist, mate.
Yeah. You're basically a puppy, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. She often can be heard going, why did I marry a broken one?
Yeah.
I just sit there, guys, because you love me, darling.
We're all different types of biscuits in life, and you're just unfortunately a big bag of broken biscuits.
Yeah, you're not far wrong there, mate.
Yeah. But you know what? We wouldn't have you any other way, Cole.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than it makes conversations interesting. It's
Oh, mate, it's entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keeps you all thoroughly entertained.
Mm-hmm.
My ineptness knows no end.
Surely no one man can have this much ineptness. Oh, hold my beer.
Oh, yes. It's like, really?
How inept can one man be? Well...
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. Mm.
I think you're basically like James May, Jeremy Clarkson, and Hamster, Richard Hammond, combined into one person.
Oh, yeah.
What can possibly go wrong?
I am all your worst nightmares in one place.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a plus about that. At least you know where they all are.
Yeah.
That's the good thing.
It's like the old joke about having a 5-year-old. You don't worry about a 5-year-old when you can hear them. You worry about a 5-year-old when you can't hear them.
That's what H says. It's when you go quiet that I worry.
When you're in that man cave and I can't hear you doing anything.
Yeah. That's when she gets worried.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know he's doing something, but I don't quite know what.
You're the kind of person for whom the phrase "I think I've just done something expensive" was designed.
Definitely.
I think it was Richard Hammer that did that on a Top Gear once when he broke something. I think I've just done something expensive.
Yeah. Like I say, I try to be sensible, but it don't always go according to plan, does it?
You try to be a normal human boy, but it just doesn't come off.
No, not very good at it, am I?
It needs some work, needs some refinement. But it makes you kind of adorable, so.
Oh, yeah. It's like when the wife's going somewhere. Oh, we're going out on a trip. First question both my sons ask, are we taking the old man out in public? No, he's not coming.
Entertainment.
Yeah, and they both go, no.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, you miss me? No, it's just we know that you'll get up all the stupid stuff that we want to get up to.
Yeah. Yeah, they can act like idiots just by proxy by letting you do it and getting into trouble. Yeah. They've grown up. The thing is, right, they've grown up with you getting into trouble for doing all this dumb stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they've learned, first of all, what all the dumb stuff is, so they can do it, but also so they know they can do it when H isn't around, and when she's around, they just let you do it.
Oh, yeah.
They know what the dumb stuff is and when they can do it safely.
Yeah.
You've taught them well.
And they're like, oh, look what Dad's done. It's like, I never done a thing. Why am I getting the blame? Yeah. Retro's in saying hi, kids. Hello, hey, mate. Retro. How you doing? Nice to see you in, mate.
Aye. Nice to see you.
To see you. Yeah.
Nice. Sitting too well.
Yeah, good game, good game, good game.
Higher, higher, lower, lower. It's like a Dalek.
It's uncanny. It's like he's here. Like he's in the room.
Sounds like a Dalek. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that with Mama Wolf sometimes. When she does something really dumb, I'll just sit there and go into Dalek mode and go, explain, explain.
Yeah, I can imagine what your mum says to that.
It's funny, if I go downstairs and she's not touched a cup of tea and it's gone cold, because she likes her cups of tea and I need to keep her hydrated, but she's one of these people that the moment it drops like 3 degrees from whatever temperature it was made, she can't drink it because it's too cold. And I'm like, just drink it. It's just fine.
Yeah.
It's still warm. But so I'll walk downstairs and if the cup is still visibly full of tea, I'll walk downstairs and I'll be like, I'll look at the cup and she'll just look at me and then give herself the finger of shame instantly. She's learned.
Oh, bless her.
She just gives herself the finger of shame. I'm like, yes, and rightly so.
No, bless her. She is a character, though. She proper plays you up. It's brilliant.
Oh God, yeah.
She certainly gets you running around.
She's like the opposite of you. What you do through just like sheer bloody-minded stupidity, she does through willfulness.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
She's like your polar opposite.
Yeah, it's funny. He'll come in, he'll go, God, you never guess what she's done. What's that, mate? And he tells me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that anyway. Yeah. I'm like, good girl, good girl.
What, my girl? Yeah, girl.
Absolutely. What have I got? Fenrisian
Grey.
James is saying the Bane blades are looking mint there, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James.
Thank you.
I'll let you into a Warhammer lore secret if you want.
Yeah, go on. What, me or him?
There aren't. You. Or anybody. There are no wolves on Fenris.
Right.
Most people won't get that. But if you get it, it's actually a very astounding fact. It completely changes a lot of the way you see things about the space wolves and Fenris, and and the Fenrisian wolves. You know, you can buy packs of the wolves, Fenrisian wolves.
Oh right, yeah. He
that
says.
live on Fenris. However, there are no wolves on Fenris.
Oh.
It's one of those facts that's mind-blowing when you realise what it means. But I shall not reveal it. Right, I think we are done with dry brushing.
I am sure Max
pretty much
will tell me he is an expert on Warhammer lore.
Mm-hmm.
He is our go-to for anything like that.
I have finished with the dry brushings.
Oh, nice one.
At this point. And I think that's as far as I can go for highlights, because again, it's getting a bit textured.
How are we doing for time, mate? Because I know you need to be away on time tonight because of real life. Okay. Because we'll be coming off at 11, folks. Tonight because, real life.
Spiddy, correct. Why are there space wolves when there are no space wolves then? That's the entire question.
Yeah, come on, Spid. Yeah, he's messing with us, isn't he, mate?
He doesn't know. But that's it. There are Fenrisian wolves, but there are no wolves on Fenris.
We need to know this, Spid. Perhaps you should do a video on it, mate.
That's your homework assignment.
Yeah.
Careful you don't get time locked, Fox. Says Rabbit. Hey, that kind of means something, but I'm not sure. Right, so that is now done. I've done that shading.
Oh, nice one.
On camera, it doesn't look any different at all, really. It still just looks grey and sand. But in reality, it looks... I'll post pictures up at some point, but it looks a lot more shaded. I've not done these bits here. In fact, you can see the difference. That bit there, that panel there is where the sponson goes, so it's not even had a dry brushing. Whereas these are now all dry brush with highlights.
Oh, nice one.
But that's just sundry dust and wash, and that's... So that is now ready for all the detail painting. And weathering. It's also ready for a little bit of sanding where there's a splodge of paint on that barrel.
Oh, nice. Retro says gene seed is modified with wolf DNA or something daft like that. Oh. Speed says, what's big and white and can't climb trees? Fridge. What's small, brown and carries a suitcase?
Go on.
A handle.
What's brown and sticky?
A stick.
A stick. The old ones are the best ones.
Absolutely. We need to get out more, don't we? But yes, that now adds James, the official Bobbins Raggy Pennant of pennantness. We've got some sanded down decals. We've got Aquilas that have had a bit of Retributor armour on them. And I've just been going around picking out little bits, getting ready. I want to start doing some chipping next week on it. So I've got all the fun of that. Little tiny chips just to start going around the panels and that.
Awesome.
So
looking fantastic there, buddy.
It's getting there slowly but surely. This is the real slowly bit now, isn't it? So,
yeah, I still think yours looks better than mine.
And then I've started doing his Aris as well. Just starting darkening up a few places.
With the Aris, aren't you? You're always fiddling with the Aris.
So itty bitty stuff at the moment, but it's getting there. And obviously me drums.
Always with the Harris fiddling.
Absolutely. Yeah, got to have a tinker with your Harry, ain't you? That sounded wrong, didn't it? On that note.
I nearly ran over my antenna with my seat there. That probably would have been bad.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good start, is it? So before we wrap up, a massive big thanks to the chat for coming in and keeping us all company. Always a pleasure to see you all on these shows. I shall be watching a bit of late night Spiddy tonight, I think. So I see what he's been up to on his channel. He's saying nicely done. Nice one, Spid.
Yep, I'm going to go watch a bit of Supernatural while I have my dinner.
Happy days.
I'm on season 11.
David JM says they both look very nice. Yeah, you'll get.
Thank you very much.
You'll get the CDs in person up at eModels' shop in Stoke when we send them up there. So
the advantage of this over things like the Millennium Falcon is I can actually put this in a box and send it to them.
Yes. Yeah. You
ever tried packing a Millennium Falcon for shipping? You don't.
Yeah. It's easy just to stick a label on it, But yeah.
It's easy just to
let it post itself. But yeah. So massive thanks, folks. We're going to love and leave you. And we will see you, what's the date? Friday for a frolic, which will be the Bluey cars, mate.
Yeah, it's on Colin's channel.
You've only got a day and a half and you can get your Bluey car on the bench, mate. Just saying.
That's my excitement.
Yeah. And we will...
Bluey car.
And we will see you Friday at midnight, folks. And back here next Wednesday for another Workbench Live. Till the next one, stay safe, take care. Thanks for joining us both.
Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.
Adios, amoebas.
Salah.
Bye.